So Jackie gets into a physical altercation with her daughter Chantel, and it goes viral. Now we're going to discuss that among things such as Jackie's oldest daughter Takari speaking out, and then we also have Chantel speaking out and responding to everyone about this entire incident, and it doesn't seem like she's taking any accountability. We have other reality stars weighing in on this, and we also have someone from the cast who's finally speaking up and apologizing to Jackie. Is y'all ready to talk about it? Let's juice.
Come on, Blaze.
It's the beef for me.
Wow, 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 for your guy, for your B-O-Y. Drop it for your guy, for your B-O-Y. Do it for your guy, for your B-O-Y. Come on, baby, we live.
No, I'm not gonna stop, and I'm not gonna let up. And I'm gonna
guess
speak
what
the
I
truth
want
to
you to do.
every
I want
single
you
time.
to
I have zero respect.
I want
for
you to get up and leave
zero
my room.
respect. For
get up and leave my room.
Zero
okay,
respect.
Bye-bye.
For
I
you.
don't.
Look how you
I
look
don't.
as a mother, Jackie.
If you don't
Look
get
how you look as a mother.
get out of my room.
Don't touch
Kenny,
me.
I will.
What's up, y'all? It's your girl Voodoo Doll TV, Bake, Weedle, Quick, Lil Juice, or whatever the case may be. And we are here to discuss this viral moment, a viral clip, an unfortunate viral clip between Jackie Christie and her daughter Chantel that everybody has been talking about. And it has sparked a lot of conversation in the Black American community. And it is something that we need to discuss. Now, I want to start by saying that if you haven't watched the episode of Basketball Wives LA, you need to go check it out. And if you haven't been following this thing, basically Jackie Christie, who's been on Basketball Wives LA for the betterment of 10 plus years, and also the star of the show, she had her daughter Chantel come on the show. Why, I do not know, but she had her come on this show, and it was doomed from the beginning. Now, Chantel being Jackie's daughter, you would think that she'd come on and be team her mom, but it turns out that's not the case. According to Chantel, she and Jackie do not have a good relationship at all. According to Chantel, none of Jackie's children like her. Her husband wants to leave her, and Jackie has not been a good mom. Now, this is what Chantel says, and I want to start by saying this. I do believe that Chantel has suffered some trauma in her life as a child. I do believe that that trauma could have been at the hands of Jackie, rather it's directly or indirectly. I also believe that Jackie was not Mother of the Year. I believe that Jackie forsake all others for her husband and followed her husband on the road. And I believe that she was not there for her children. I do believe that Chantel has some valid gripes. And I also believe that Chantel should not be forced to be around her mother if she feels like it's a toxic situation and something that's really going to be bad for her own mental, emotional, and spiritual health and well-being. But that's not what we're dealing with here. Jackie and Chantel's relationship seems very complex, and we obviously do not know the whole story, okay? All of those things are valid, and all of those things should be talked about when we speak about this situation, because if we don't highlight that Chantel may have valid gripes, then the conversation kind of goes null and void because we don't get anywhere. It's kind of one-sided. At the end of the day, Chantel has issues with her mother that she thought would be better suited to be talked about on this platform. So here we go. Now, I also want to point out that I don't believe Chantel wants any type of resolution with her mother. And the reason I'm saying that is because Chantel has had ample opportunity to not only tell her mother what the issue is, but at least try to have a dialogue and see where they can find a common ground. Chantel is not interested in that. In my opinion, I believe Chantel was either hired or either volunteered to come here and tear down her mother's image. It's obvious in the way that she speaks to her mom, the way that she talk about her mom, the way that she allow others to speak to and about her mom. It's just disgustingly horrible. And according to Black culture, especially in America, we don't play that. And that's why everybody is on the side of Jackie. Even though Jackie could have done all the wrong in the world, the way that Chantel has been carrying this thing out, it looks cold and calculated and egregious. And nobody's gonna side with this, okay? In Black American culture, we just don't play that with our moms. And I'm almost safe to go around the diaspora and say, that's kind kind of like the culture across the diaspora. You don't play with your black mama. Now, in this particular incident, it looks as if Chantel puts her hands on her mother first by pushing her, and obviously Jackie turns around and clocks Chantel. Now, in black culture, that's about right. You raise your hand to your mother, you be lucky to get back up. But Chantel got clocked and went back and told everybody something completely different, and this is why we're having this conversation. Now, before I get into any more thoughts, I need you guys to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and also don't forget to leave a comment down in the comment section so I know what you think about this situation. Now, I have some more thoughts on this, but before I get into my thoughts, I want to get into some things that took place after this episode aired. So after the episode aired with Jackie and Chantel and that horrific fight, people talked about it all over the place and everybody was freaking out. Chantel had thrown Doug in the whole situation, talking about he's gonna leave Jackie and that's why she's insecure. All types of stuff had popped off and we were all wondering about Jackie's other daughter, Takari. Now, Takari is Jackie's oldest daughter. We met her, I want to say, around 2018. She came on the show and she was talking about her upbringing with Jackie. And one thing I will say that's common between her and Chantel is the fact that Jackie was not there. They both spoke about how Jackie was on the road all the time. And even though they had everything they wanted, she wasn't there. So when Takari spoke about that, also her tumultuous relationship with her mom growing up on the show, we all got a sneak peek of what it was like growing up with Jackie. So I don't think anybody thinks that Jackie is this great mom. Let's really be clear about it. I think what people are sitting here wondering is, what does Takari have to say? Because if Chantel has this horrible life and her life was this bad, then maybe we didn't get all of the information from Takari. So everybody was looking and wondering what Takari had to say. And before I get into her response, I want to kind of show y'all a clip of what happened when she was on the show in 2018. And also Chantel was there. But pay attention to at the end how Chantel seems so nonchalant and Takari seems so heartbroken. Y'all, check this clip out.
I always felt a little intimidated by my mom. Okay. But just nervous, like jitters and everything. And then with my grandma passing, that mother relationship I had with her, and I felt like...
Don't cry.
Oh, you know, and I compare that to me and your relationship, and that's where the question comes in, you know. Because I didn't feel like I was good enough.
You always been good. You always been too good, Kari.
I didn't
You
feel
hear
like
me? I felt like, okay, Kari, we can work on that. If you felt like you were overlooked, you weren't. You've always been my pride and joy. Ever since you was born, you always had everything. Everything you can imagine. And I tell you, I love you.
That was the
I dress
problem.
you.
Like, you were so busy trying to make sure that we had what you didn't have. What good was the roof over our head if you weren't there to tuck us in, if you weren't cooking the meals? That's where we get our relationship with Grandma from, is because she was the one that was doing those things. And I understand that you were making it happen, but sometimes you just have to put that on hold and say, you know what, being a mom comes first, and that's what I have to do.
So y'all saw that clip, and as you can see, Takari was super emotional, telling her mom about not having her in her life and how it affected her and how basically they had things, but she wasn't there. And we're finding out that basically Jackie must have moved in her mom or maybe Doug's mom to take care of the kids. And that's how they basically lived while Jackie followed her husband all around. But one thing else I noticed about this situation is the way Chantel butts in, so nonchalant, so just like, yeah, but you gave us everything, and that's why we have a good relationship with our grandmother, but you were never there. You ever heard of the term, it's not what you say, it's how you say it? Chantel's body language and attitude really gave, like, I'm just here to tell you how you feel, and I'm more upset than anything. And Chantel has every right to be upset, and it's obvious she is Jackie's stupid chance. Chantel is the one that has always gave Jackie a run for her money. However, it seems to me like it was kind of giving a little bit, oh, the energy is getting a bit too much over here with y'all two, so let me just butt in and say my little one too. You know, I don't know, maybe I'm overreaching because I've seen Chantel recently and my whole view of her has changed, so I could be biased in that sense, and if I am, please forgive me. But it just, something about it just didn't really sit right with me. And it wasn't just this clip. Do you guys recall when Chantel came back on the show? She came on the show, and this time she stood up with Evelyn and all the other women who hated her mom, and she dragged for her mama. Did y'all remember this? Check out this clip.
For years, my sister and I, we didn't speak to each other. No relationship whatsoever, because she always played us against each other. She's fat, and she's black, and you're skinny, and you need to stay in shape, and you're the model, and it blows my mind.
Is it true that she couldn't be in pictures because she was too dark?
I don't really recall like a family photo that we all took together. She was always like the outcast. Like my mom would go as far as to, Kari, you have to run on the treadmill, and Shaunie, you stand there and watch her, and you write down what time she got on and what time she got off. It's ridiculous. Like, she's like 12. I'm like 8. Like, you want me to stand here and watch her run on this treadmill because she's not the size that I am, or she's not the color that I am, or she has fuller lips than I do.
All right, so y'all just saw that clip, and she starts off by talking about how basically Takari was treated bad. She said Takari was the one who was darker. Takari is the one who was bigger. Takari was the one who was treated like crap. Now, she did agree that Jackie wasn't there, but it was more or less like her dragging for the situation between Takari and Jackie. Now, mind you, Chantel is doing this to get back at her mother. So this is something that has been brewing between Jackie and Chantel, like years, probably long before Jackie even got on TV. Chantel literally despises her mom sometimes. I think she loves her, but I think she also despises her sometimes, and it shows through and through when she's on this camera. But I noticed in this scene that she spoke about Takari and Takari's happenings, but she only did it to bash her mom. It's not like she was trying to get help for her sister, or at least it doesn't seem like it. She was on this show to bash her mama to her coworkers and friends, and that's what happened. And honestly, I'm still trying to wrap my head around what Jackie could have done to Chantel to make her come on this show and do this to her. Like, how bad does a mother-daughter relationship have to be to where you would do something like that to your mom? I think that's where we all struggling. But when we fast forward to this scene with Chantel getting clocked by her mom, I believe the reason most people think that Chantel deserved this is because Chantel had been disrespectful through and through. Now, Takari had been watching the show this season. I guess she was curious to see what was going to happen, and she had made 1 or 2 comments here and there, and it was typically comments after she would see how Jackie is treated on the show. Now, mind you, Takari is the one who got the horrible treatment. We've heard this from Chantel and Takari. But yet and still, Takari finds some sort of sympathy and empathy for the way that her mother is being treated. And this is one of the things she said. She posts this video and says, POV, you while your mom is giving them the A-whipping they've been asking for all day. So it seems like Takari is more on her mama's side than Chantel. And mind you, Takari is the one who had the most victimizing situation. Check out this other clip she posted.
Are they using the favorite daughter to recreate a storyline using your trauma, controlling the narrative? Because having you come on there would be too real? Or are they trying to capture them same amount of viewers that they would get in when the show was about you? What? Who said that?
All right, so you guys heard that, and in this clip, Takari is insinuating that Chantel is stealing her storyline and using it for herself. And honestly, when I think back to the episode of Jackie giving Chantel many opportunities to tell her what the issue was, it makes more sense that Chantel would steal this storyline because she really had nothing to say. Other than the fact that Chantel brought up that things happened to her when her mom wasn't home and tried to talk to her mama and tell her, and her mama didn't listen. Other than that, what is the issue? We still, in 2025, don't know the issue. Hence why I believe Takari when she made this post, because it's really given a reach. It just is. Now, Takari, although has been on the sideline, has been watching, and she has not liked what she saw. So right behind this video, Takari took to her Instagram to address her sister Chantel, and this is what she had to say. She says, most of you all know I've healed and moved on from the family drama. However, if I'm asked to not speak on or about people, I expect the same respect. It's been almost 10 years, a lot of time and distance. So to speak on how I feel or what I went through, and I can't even say happy birthday to you, is not going to fly. I know I'm the peasant or whatever, but don't provoke me, please. So as you can see, Takari is saying that Chantel is stealing her storyline and using it on television. Now, Chantel will go on to respond and allege that Takari touched her when they were children, but I'm starting to see that as a trend in this whole situation. I'm not saying it's not true. I'm starting to see it as a trend, and I want to know, when we're going to have the conversation about that situation. Moving on. Now, after the most recent episode, Takari posted under one of the blogs on Instagram because they posted the clip of Chantel and her mom having the fight. And this is what Takari said. Takari says, she doesn't even know our mom. If she did, she would only try to protect her. She didn't deserve to be done like this on her platform. That's all I have to say about this. Now, Moniece Slaughter decided to jump in, and this is what she had to say. Moniece says, now Takari, you doing a lot, sis. At one point, this was you, and we all defended you too. You was hollering neglect and that you were too a victim of Jackie. So I guess I'm a little confused. If you're not going to talk about it, don't talk about it. Because you sure did go through the comments and respond to dang near everybody to talk about it. LOL. And it was your mom first. Now it's your sister. So if you're going to address anyone, address your sister. Because let's also be clear. Was it not you that posted something after one of the episodes aired that nobody reported on it until your sister addressed you publicly, just as you done her publicly, but we never see your response to her response to your initial public shade / outreach? Takari responds to Moniece and says, everyone keeps saying they are confused. That's because it's my business. LOL. Also, you've never seen me attack my mom. The only reason you know about me is because I spoke to the cast for years. It says what you saw was me defend myself against claims of being a con artist and a scammer for having a GoFundMe for my hurt child. The internet and the show took my son's accident and made it about a donation. I didn't bring this info to y'all. My book was my side of what y'all seen going on. Another thing, I said what I said. My mom wouldn't be out here facing the world alone if they all left or whatever. I did not speak on their fight. That's their issue. I addressed what I wanted to. Have a good day, sis. Now, Moniece responds and says, I wasn't referring to your GoFundMe or your son's accidents. While I do remember that being a source of contention, what you said were things very similar to what your sister is saying about your mother, about size, deflection, etc. You even said she ostracized you because of your complexion, and it was brought up and pushed to the forefront because the world was shocked about the GoFundMe, and then Jackie brought it to TV. So all I'm saying now is that while it is your business and your family, you wrote a book and your sister made some pretty strong allegations. And so I would think that if your goal is to genuinely heal, then you would address your family, not us. That's all. And I'm speaking from experience. So all I can say is that healing doesn't happen on the internet. But the tough conversation that the world is not made privy to more often than not will get the job done. Takari responds and says, all I can say is, I know Chantel speaks for me a lot, but she's not my advocate, so I came on here last night to clear that up for y'all. I don't hate anyone, and if someone feels alone in this world, my heart would feel obligated to be there. That's just who I am. I wish nothing but abundance of peace and healing for them both. And then she also says, at Moniece, I don't have that much hurt in me. You saw me address my mom on the first couple of seasons of the show. Emotionally, but calmly. So no, I wouldn't have seized an opportunity to hurt Jackie. That's your heart and your mentality. You can't put that on me, sis. And then she goes on to say, also, ma'am, Chantel and Brittany were addressed. You must have missed it. I waited on live for them to come confront me with their allegations and speak to some folks that had their own allegations against her. They didn't come. Shout out to Takari for getting Moniece together in the comments, because I think it was very distasteful for Moniece to be number one in the same type of situation with her mother, but then number two to even address you as if what you're saying is wrong. What this girl was saying was basically, it's my story. She has every right to come out and say that. And like she said, she's never bashed her mama and she ain't never hurt her mama. Her telling her truth about her childhood is not her hurting her mother. Hurting your mother is pushing your mother. Hurting your mother is calling her bitches and hoes. Those are things that hurt your mother, okay? But shout out to Takari for getting Moniece together, because she needed that. And of all people, Moniece, please have several seats. Speaking of, get her on here. Now, most of us are privy to the situation between Moniece and her mama and the situation between her kid and her and all this other stuff. And while I get it, she's coming from a place of experience and she knows how this goes. It seemed very judgy, very dismissive, very, like, hey, girl, you doing it wrong. I mean, while you may have the experience, who are you, Moniece? And this is why nobody likes you. Literally. Like, mind your business. And this is why nobody else in the industry like you. You're unlikable. Shut up, mind your business, and Takari better than me. I'd have cussed your ass out with them swole eyes. Girl, get off of here. So Takari has said what she had to say, and then today it seems like Chantel decided to address everyone. I heard she turned off the comments on her Instagram and everything because she didn't want to be bothered, but I guess she had time today and she addressed everybody about this situation. Now, most of us are going to think, okay, maybe she'll take some sort of accountability, or maybe she'll say, hey, maybe I shouldn't have done X, Y, and Z, and kind of be a little humble about the situation, but not Chantel. Chantel basically feels like she's in the right, everybody else is wrong, we don't know her, and we need to mind our business somewhat. Let's get into what she had to say. So Chantel says, I'll start by saying if you ever dealt with a toxic mother, then you truly have no idea what it feels like. As painful as it's been to watch these moments of my life play out on TV, I know my younger self is proud of the woman who finally stood up for herself. The truth is, this dynamic isn't rare. It happens in more families than we'd like to admit. Narcissism, jealousy, lies, lack of accountability, gaslighting, abuse, hiding, assault, etc. We're just going to keep it in-house and suffer in silence. I chose to break that cycle. What you witnessed was a masterclass in narcissism. Someone lighting the fire behind the scenes, then walking away so you look like the arsonist. I know what really happened on and off camera, all season long. So no, the internet cannot bully me into submission. Y'all know the TV character, I know the mother. She touched my arm, I pushed her off me. She swung, plain and simple. It's unfortunate things played out this way. I wish it never happened, but if you knew our history, then you know this was a long time coming. She goes on to say, I may not be proud of all my choices this season, but I'm also not ashamed. This is my real life, and I doubt anyone judging me lives a perfect one. I see the hate mail, I see the judgment, but I also see the messages that say, I've dealt with this too. This reminds me so much of my situation. To those of you who've met me with threats, vile statements, and extreme judgment, may you never understand my plight. Celebrating my darkest moments says more about you than it'll ever say about me. I've always been misunderstood, and this chapter of my life is no different. But I will answer to God, not imperfect strangers who've never walked a step in my shoes. I will keep my head up and my peace in my focus as I continue to grow as a mother, a wife, and a woman. Signed, CCJ. So that's what Chantel had to say. And as we can see, she doesn't think she's done anything wrong. And she's standing 10 toes on it in this apology. I will say I do admire, if it's true, that she doesn't care about what the masses of the public has to say. But at the end of the day, girl, what you did to your mother on this show was just egregious. It was just horrible. Nobody is going to side with you. And honestly, Chantel saying that she's been down this road before, it basically translates to me that she's used to being on islands. But Chantel doesn't realize that she's on these islands because she places herself there. She don't realize it. She hates her mother so much, she's her mother upgraded to a different version. It's ridiculous. And it's crazy. And what most people have an issue with here is not the fact that Chantel has a disagreement with her mama. It ain't even the fact that Chantel called her mama out her name for the most part. It's mostly that Chantel actively sought out her mother's job, sought out her mother's apartment, sought out everywhere her mother was going to be to specifically get there and try to ruin her. And the icing on the cake for Chantel, for everybody that's watching this show, was Chantel putting her hands on her mother. And while I agree, the toxic relationships between black mothers and black daughters is a conversation that needed to be had, and it does need to be had and handled with care. And we need to be finding understanding about each other and trying to figure out ways to mend this gap. I don't think that that's necessarily the situation with Chantel. Chantel to me seems like a spoiled brat who's gotten everything she wanted, and it still wasn't enough. So she took on her sister's storyline, and probably in Chantel's brain, she took on the hate that she feels her sister should have for her mother. Because again, I have yet to hear what Jackie has done to this girl. Either way, That's the gist of it all. I want to know what you guys think about this. Tammy Roman's daughter actually did a video seeing if she could try Tammy like that. And obviously, like we all know, she ain't gonna play with her mama because most black mamas are Tammy Romans. You don't play with them like that. So I'm gonna leave this video of Tammy and her daughter and also a couple other people from TikTok and what they have to say about this situation. And I want to say, let this be a lesson to Chantel and other Chantels of the world. Y'all could let these girls with these passive mamas buck y'all up to go up to your mama and even think about raising your hand, but you're gonna meet the same fate that Chantel met. Jackie Christie is the average black mother across the globe. And while black mothers and daughters are older conversation, respect is still owed on both sides of the spectrum. Now, before we get out of here, I want to point out that Jackie Christie had to fight her daughter on the show, and it was literally egged on by everybody on the show. Yes, everybody. Now, some people you can tell didn't want to be mean or didn't want to be nasty, but people like Evelyn, Ming, and sometimes Brandy were very rude, and they played a huge part in this whole situation. So a lot of people were wondering if the cast, after seeing the show and how everything played out, if anyone was going to come out and at least say something in Jackie's defense, or at least say, hey, I might have got it wrong and my bad. And when it came down to it, literally nobody said anything. I heard nothing from nobody on the cast. Now, I didn't expect anything from Evelyn nor Jennifer, but when I heard and saw that Ming Lee responded, I was like, wow, that's big of her. So Ming Lee basically saw the episode, and I want to say either the same day or the next day, Ming took to her social media and she expressed how she felt so bad that she misjudged that situation and she should have just stayed out of it. And I agree. Let's get into what Ming Lee had to say. So Ming says, Jackie, I'ma keep it real. After watching last night's episode and thinking back to how everything played out in real time, I owe you an apology. If anything I said or did came off offensive, that was never my intention and I am truly sorry. I was under the impression you swung first and that shaped how I saw it. But watching it back, woo, it hit different. I don't condone violence at all and it was hard to watch. As a mom, I understand where your emotions are coming from, but anybody in your shoes would have felt the same. This whole situation reminded me to stay out of family business and focus on my own damn business. I really do hope y'all can heal from this because that was tough to witness. So that's what Ming Lee said. And you know what? Shout out to her. At least she was able to apologize, and not only apologize, at least be articulate about the why she's apologizing and where she went wrong. This is what it's all about. And like she said at the end of that message, what she should have done is just stayed out of it and allowed Jackie and her daughter to have her situation. But again, I told y'all this may be a scheme set up by Nostrils O'Neal and possibly Evelyn, more than likely her as well. And I think that everybody else was kind of collateral damage and kind of played along with it. So shout out to Ming, like I said, for even coming on and saying what she has to say. And you know what? It's very telling of the rest of these ladies that nobody came out and said anything publicly. And then I also have to remember this is a job and maybe they just feel like, girl, we was at work and it was what it was. At any rate, I'm going to play you guys some other people's opinion on this situation. And I'm looking forward to getting that conversation started down there in the chat. Y'all drop down in the comments. Don't forget to like, subscribe, hit the notification bell, follow me on all platforms, and I'll catch y'all hoes on the next one, child. Bye.
Ugly? I look ugly?
No, you look beautiful.
Oh, so I
just want to bump.
You know, sometimes I just want you to shut up. I just want you to shut up.
I was like, whoa.
Remember the prank? Remember the prank you showed me 2 weeks ago? You thought I forgot I was waiting for the girl.
I was like, it's hot in here. Y'all hot? I'm sweating. Wow.
You remember the prank you
Chantel better than me. I would have went to the producers and begged them to take this footage down. And Jackie's wrong, of course, but Chantel's wrong because you pushed your mom. You did not have to push her, and then Jackie attacked her. But y'all, this is so embarrassing as someone in their like mid-30s. Footage of your mom slapping you like this is crazy. I would have been calling the producers every day to take out this footage. And then when she went downstairs and they're like, what happened? I would have been like, nothing happened. Nothing. 'Cause, like, girl. And this is why they are not having a reunion for Basketball Wives, because the entire reunion would be full of backpedaling and apologizing to Jackie. And like I always say, Jackie is far from perfect, and she is absolutely batshit crazy. But y'all sat up there and believed all of Chantel's lies, and y'all allowed her to play the victim. And now Ming Lee wants to come out apologizing to Jackie, saying that she was under the impression that Jackie hit Chantel first. And this is why you mind your business, because Chantel is a master manipulator. She got it from her mama, and she only told her side of the story that would make her look good. She didn't tell the truth. And that's why Jackie walked away from every argument when it came to dealing with Chantel, because she knew the antics that y'all were playing this season, and she wasn't signing up for. She knew y'all weren't interested in actually hearing her side of the story. She knew that y'all wanted to make her the villain this season and make Chantel the victim.
So y'all mad about Jackie Christie getting on her child tail? Jackie Christie was not wrong. Chantel stepped out of line, and Jackie got on that behind. That's just like she was supposed to done, in that order, as Mama D would say. I have 2 children, and I've never, ever experienced a slam door, a yelling match with either one, because they know that I would have spared that rod. Me and they daddy both. We're an intact family, so they know we ain't got no good sense. And we love them to death, and they love us. See, when you try to be them children's friend, they have a different level of respect for you. Most of the times you find them children disrespecting you because of how you let them grow up, give them everything, let them be grown for their time. Mine knew to stay in a child's place at that time, and now that they're grown, we have a different type of relationship. But if we feel ourselves getting flustered or getting upset, we just walk away. I brought you in this world, and we would have a come to Jesus meeting if one ever try to raise their voice at me or slam a door in my face. Seriously. So no, Jackie was not wrong for putting her child in check. That's the problem. We like Bernie Mac said, rest in peace. We the punk ass parents nowadays. Seriously. And that's not how it should be. Even the Bible say, if a man don't discipline his child, he hates him. That's in Proverbs. And then, the Bible is the roadmap to our life, and we're not adhering to that because we want to do what the world say, and Dr. Spock and all that. Dr. Spock can't tell you how to be mom and dad because Dr. Spock ain't in your house. So you need to do what you need to do and teach the kids in the way they should go so they'll never depart from that, which being number 1 in church, giving the moral giver, which is Jesus, and number 2, teaching them respect on both ways. The Bible even say don't provoke your child either. There's some parents out here that be provoking them, and they could lose respect for you in that way. But my opinion and my take on Jackie Christie and her daughter, Jackie Christie needs a Durn Award. The Academy Awards goes to Jackie Christie because her daughter stepped over the line when she pushed her into that wall. I don't condone violence, and I know her daughter was probably putting on for the TV and all that, but Jackie showed her. and as she should. So don't get too grown for your britches. If you somebody's child, step back, stand down, for you be a man down. So, hey, my hats go off to Jackie. She did what she had to do.
Jackie Christie is a pick-me. And the blow up that she has with her daughter is she's reaping what she sowed. So there's if anybody resonates with what Chantel did to her mom, is because their mom is a pick-me, meaning that their mom chose to pick men over their children. Those type of kids will resent their mother because how come you couldn't find love in me, but you found love in a man, and you kept on choosing a man over your kids. That is the issue.
One thing I haven't seen a lot of people talking about is the fact that Shaunie O'Neal facilitated all of this. Had Shaunie literally used her first woman title to bring these women together, she literally produced for the demise of their relationship. And she's nobody's friend except for Evelyn's. And I'm still wondering how her and Evelyn are still friends when didn't Evelyn fuck Shaq? I don't, hey, whatever. But Shaunie O'Neal should really be ashamed of herself. You sold out a mother and daughter for what, some views that you thought were gonna go your way? You thought that we was gonna gang up on Jackie? No, baby. We all team Jackie. I have not seen one person that was team Chantel, ever. Shame on you, bitch. Shame on you. First lady and all, shame on you.
Mr. Carroll, how you give the voodoo doll time to talk? I don't get no fucking time to talk.
Who the voodoo doll is?
The nigga you just had up here.